And with that, let me hand over to you, Vaughn, for the demo. Thank you.
Oh, you don't want to leave. It's the demo. It's the sex and the sizzle. Come on, guys. You gotta hang around. Okay, let's see. So, thanks, Linda. I'm going to leave this up. This is HP's ALM, or Application Lifecycle Management. This is the tool that we've embedded the solution on. And the solution that I'm going to show, as we log in here into ALM, is really a collection of testing components. And we're going to pause a little bit. You'll see dashboard, management, requirements. We're going to stay in the testing area where the business components are. And you'll see here, you see launch and login, and you see a lot of things about the actual functionality. Some of these components are relatively small, like launch and login. Some of them can just affect, let's say, the push of a button, more along the unit testing that Greg was talking about earlier. Or they could be more a deeper functionality. Here's launch and login. The deeper functionality, let's say, in the opportunity management, or actually creating a quote. Those are the kinds of areas that we're going to be looking at today. So if we actually go into, let's say here in opportunity, if we go into one of these components, the first thing you're going to see is a snapshot, a screenshot of the piece of functionality that's under test. So that will give somebody who's setting up a test or trying to drag and drop these components, as we're going to show, it'll give them an idea of where the functionality is. There's a lot more detail, of course. You can also, if you go over to if you see the parameter section here, you can see these are the names that Salesforce has given to the individual fields that are on these, and those are how we interact and load data into these into the automated test. So that's something that it's not really dummied down. I think it's kind of smartened up so that people can see, okay, I've got this screen, I've got this data, and I've got this table, and I know if I put data in this table, it's going to work in the test. So, so just a little bit about the individual components. All of these are available to anybody who's doing Salesforce implementation if you have an investment in the ALM product already. So if we go over to the test plan area, I'm going to see we're going to create what we're calling the test called create single quote. So if you look on the right-hand side now, that's where the components are showing up, and we can just drag and drop these over to create the actual test itself. So there's launch and login. So one thing that we do when we launch and log into the system is we identify the data file that we're going to use. So this has all the login information, and then what we're going to do when we create the opportunity and go to a quote. And then, so launch and login goes, and now we'll get some more complex functionality, page down a little bit. And we have a couple there, one for creating a standard opportunity. We're going to add that in, and we're going to create a quote on top of that. Now, this is an interesting test in that it starts in Salesforce, logs into Salesforce, but then it goes over to big machines to actually do quoting. So this is one of those things that Glinda was talking about, where things can bounce around. One SaaS application, another SaaS application, on-prem, you can go into Siebel. If you've got that sitting over there, you've got Oracle 5.9 or 12, SAP, all of these are available for testing, or any custom application. So if we go over to the daily execution, we save that off. There it is, create single quote down at the bottom, and now we're just going to execute it. And this is what I like to call the Candy Crush moment, where you can get a cup of coffee or play Candy Crush. I'm on level 182. If anybody has any help for that one, I've got it sitting right over here. You can help me out. It'd be great. It does pause a little bit. Okay, so now we're going. So the first thing it does is open up that file where we're going to log in as a sysadmin. Sysadmin, just to make it easy to log in. And there, Salesforce comes up. We log in from the outside. And then, but the sysadmin doesn't really have the right parameters for the test, so we're going to go to someone else with a different profile because we want to do quoting. I think this Chris Barker guy, who shows up a lot in our testing, is there. We go. So we're going to commandeer Chris Barker's user ID, and all this is all real, right? All this is very similar to the stuff that we're doing, but now this is a business test, an end-to-end business test. So now we've gone in. We're creating an opportunity. It's going to be a standard opportunity, and we'll continue. Okay, and now it's going back to the file and taking all the information from that file, loading it all in, and then it's going to save it. Okay. And about a minute left in this, and we're going to now go in and create an opportunity, create a quote from this. And here we've actually left Salesforce. We're now in big machines. The system, the test doesn't know that it's left. This is actually embedded, but the test doesn't know that it's bounced over to another application. And we can do this all day. We can test the various 50 or 70 interfaces that we're talking about. This is where stuff really bogs down in the enterprise. You get an enterprise implementation of Salesforce. This is where you die, right? Because all of a sudden I can't quote, I can't ship, I can't create an order, I can't because I'm depending on other applications to go. So, and here are big machines. Well, we tried to go in, and what do you know? It let us down. No, so nothing pejorative about big machines. What we had was a connectivity issue here, and we couldn't get into big machines, but it's good to know something like that, to know that we've got this problem and people can focus on it. So now we're going back into HP's ALM product, and we're going to look at the defect that was created here. Go over to the defects. And there's our defect. And everything about this has been logged. Every step that we've taken, everything that we've done, everything about the machine that we did it on, and then all the linked entities. So the test itself, going back to requirements. And from this, you can build all sorts of dashboards that say, these areas of tests are running, these are not. This is where we're being successful. This is where we really need to focus. And the last thing I want to show is just a list, and these are real tests that we did last weekend during the UAT cycle. Some of them have passed, some didn't run, some have failed. But to give a feel that it's fairly big, it's fairly broad and deep, and allows you to bounce in between the applications. And I think that's all we wanted to show. I know we missed a lot of the technology steps, but we had to keep it moving and leave some time for question and answer. So I'll turn it back over to you guys.